Many of us catch ourselves daydreaming about the life we want to have, the place we want to live, the career we want to have, and the things that we want to do before we die. We wonder, what can we do? But we see all these things in our way. It seems like we have all these responsibilities and situations, marriage, everything that seems to be in the way. And that seems to be the reason why we can't live the life we want to live, because we have to live for other people. But is that true? I think that there's something else that's actually in our way. There's something else that's actually in the way, that's hiding in the shadows, that's making us believe that it's someone else's issue that we're not being able to get to where we need to go. If you're interested in exploring that information and getting clarity so that you can begin to live your life sooner than later with no regret, you'll want to watch this video. Hi friends, Ashley Berges back today, and guess what? I came across an amazing music video. And this music video really added clarity to the situation we're going to be talking about today. Calvin Harris's new video, My Way. And I'm going to ask you to watch it. I'll ask you to watch it multiple times. You can watch the official video right here on YouTube. We will give you the link in the description, and you can watch that. And as I watched it, it was interesting because the first time I listened to the song without the video, and the second time I listened to the song without the video, and the third time I listened to the song without the video, I realized that we're dealing with someone that wants to live a life, right? That wants to live a life that they've always wanted to live, but all this crap seems to get in the way, right? All these things seem to take precedence. All these things seem to take our mind share. And if you watch the official video, you'll understand what I'm saying, because it's interesting, because you see this dynamic where this individual's living, but he's not really living his life. And it seems as though he's being held back into this humdrum life that he's living, not exploring his dreams, based on the fact that he feels like he has these responsibilities and that someone else is in his way. I find that many of us are living this in a day-to-day thought process, including myself. I'm not excluding myself on this. I have a tendency of seeing all the responsibilities, all the duties, getting overwhelmed by the duties, getting overwhelmed by my life as it is right now in the confines of what it is. And I know you're probably feeling the same way too, whether it's, you're married with kids, the financial situation, the career situation, maybe the education situation in school, maybe real estate that you own that you don't know if you can sell. Maybe you've lived there your whole life and you have aging parents you have to deal with. All these things that get in the way of us thinking, okay, if I could just taste it. It's like I'm getting so close to what I want to do, but it seems like it brushes right by me. So how do we put things in perspective so we can begin to live our life without really getting into a fear-based anxiety and also seeing all the problems instead of actually the solution? Many of us see our responsibilities as being in our way. Like the woman in the video, she's an illusion to most of us, right? She's a hologram. To some of you who watch the video, you might, she's a figment of his imagination, if you really get deep. And so to me, what I'm seeing and what I'm catching is that she is what he's seeing as being in his way of achieving what he wants. But the interesting part about it is that she is an imaginary figure. She's an illusion. And I know that you're saying, well, my husband or my wife is real, she's a real human being, or my kids are real. I get that. But the illusion part is the fact that they're in your way of being able to achieve your goals. What we're doing here is something very interesting. We find someone in our life and we tell ourselves that because of them, we're not going to be able to do this because we have to do the right thing. We got to do the stand-up thing. We got to figure out what we have to do. And so we can't do that. But in reality, we're deflecting the fact of our own fear of the unknown if we do it. So it's our mind playing a trick on us, right? Interesting trick. We actually see other people as being in our way, not us being in our way. Yeah, and when I was watching this video over and over again, it was very interesting because I've been in my own way multiple times. We talk about self-sabotaging behavior, right? And we think about that, and it's like, okay, for example, you want to do something, and you start figuring out how to do it, but then all of a sudden you get to that point, and it's almost like, fear to me is almost like guilt, right? Guilt to me is kind of an imaginary, kind of yucky kind of feeling. It just kind of seems like smoke. Like I don't really see anything in my mind's eye when I feel guilt. I just kind of feel like I'm just kind of stuck in some sort of middle world, right? And I think that fear is the same thing, because we have the fear to do something based on that feeling of anxiety. What happens if it doesn't work? Or what happens if I can't do it? And then fear becomes that anxiety-ridden kind of feeling. And then also, we begin to feel as though what we want is never going to come to fruition. And that can be kind of sad in a way as well. And so I find that a lot of times for us not to deal with this emotion and not even to really walk down this path, we would rather see a part of our life as this responsibility that we can't get out of. Then we either play the deflection game, or we play the martyr game. Well, I'm the one that has to do this. I'm gonna be the one that does this. This is my cross to bear. That sort of thing. And then and then we're okay with not doing what we want to do in our life, even though we continue to revisit it through our lifetime. And so when we think about that, what is the illusion in your life? What illusion is keeping you from doing what you want to do? And where are you putting that energy to? So are you putting the energy of the illusion being, okay, if I want to do this, my husband's not going to want to do this. If I want to do this, the kids are going to have to get out of school. We're going to have to move schools. They're not going to be happy. If I have to do this, I'm going to have to get the house ready and sell it. If I have to do this, I have to take another job, and I have to go to school at night. That's going to throw off everybody's schedule. How are the kids going to get picked up from school? How is this going to happen? Okay, I need you to think about, where are you deflecting this to? Because this is really important in order to make these changes. We have to understand where we're deflecting the responsibility to, and then we need to make a plan to offset that deflection. Okay, so if it's the fact of, well, if I go back to pursue XYZ at school, I'm not going to be able to pick up the kids at night. How is that going to happen? How is that going to work? And how is the family unit going to work when we all go back to normal and go back to school? Okay, good question. We need to come up with solutions. So what this is about is, instead of worrying about what will happen or what could happen or what would happen, we need to take the worry and figure out how to take the worry and make it into a solution, because as many solutions as we can come up with, the less deflection we have. So it's no longer the kids' schooling getting in the way of us doing what we want to do. No longer is it worrying about how the kids will get home when we figured out the solution. And everybody's happy with it. And it's interesting how we don't stay in solution, how we get into the question mode. We get so overwhelmed. And it's not about figuring out how to pick them up from school. We get overwhelmed about making that jump in our own life. And we use that as a scapegoat. Well, I can't go because I got to take care of the kids. I mean, that's just the way it is. I'm the mom. I got to do what I got to do. Okay, but then what are you going to do on the back end with that regret component? How is that going to be? I mean, how is that going to work for you? Later on down the road going, well, you know what? All I had to do is figure out how to get them picked up for freaking 2 years of their life and make a plan and do it, and I would be at this point. But now I'm 10 years behind that, and how am I going to make this happen now? And so I think many of us have been kicking the can down the road for a long time about something in our life, and now it's the time to ask yourself, are you ready to make that move? Are you ready to make this a reality? And are you ready to feel a little uncomfortable and to begin to dissolve the delusion from your life? Because this is all delusion. It's all an illusion based on us not wanting to actually step up to the plate and do what we probably need to do on a soul level. At this time, I want you to ask yourself, what are the illusions in your life? What is keeping you away from doing that? And can we create those solutions? Because, I talk a lot about living your true life. The 10-day challenge to live your true life, my latest book, finding that. And people say, well, what does it mean to live your true life? Well, it means living a life that you want to live once you figure out who you are based on unconditional love, personal respect, and then being able to connect with that gut instinct, that soul level, to understand what it is you want to do while you're here. Once you tap into that purpose piece, right, all of a sudden life kind of changes. And that's what I talk about in the book. And so I'm asking you, if you've tapped into that, and you got an idea of what you want, and you got an idea of what makes you tick, and you have an idea of what your soul's purpose is, or something that's been longing for you to do for a long time, you can't keep ignoring that. You hear about how painful regret is, and the last thing you want to do is to really cross that threshold into regret. So thinking about it, taking a tally of where am I putting my thought process at? Who am I saying is getting in the way of me living my life? What are the fears that I actually do have? Writing this down, getting this on paper, okay? coming up with the solutions for the fears, right? And then eventually, what do you have to do? You got to take the leap. I mean, that's what we have to do. We have to just do it. Eventually, when people are walking around the pool and it's cold, they put their foot in, they sit there, they put their toe in, they put their toe in. Eventually, what do you have to do to get in the pool? You got to jump in. Okay? So eventually, we actually have to make the jump. But we have to feel good about making the jump. And so if we feel that everybody else is not going to be good because we do it, we have to be able to mitigate that guilt and be honest with ourselves and say, you know what? Most of this is my fear of doing what I need to do. And as you watch this video a couple of times, you'll really get what I'm saying, and you'll see yourself as Calvin, as his character, and you'll realize that that fear of doing what you're doing is actually based on these illusions in your life, right? And I want you to really think about something that's interesting. Is I've read a lot of articles about Calvin Harris, and a while back, he was working at a Safeway grocery store, okay? And he was doing it over and over again, working at the grocery store. And eventually, guess what? He decided to take the leap of faith because he wanted to create music. Look how that worked out for him. That's the key. But think about how much hesitation he had working in that grocery store and having the dream of being a musician and a major DJ. I mean, that's kind of crazy if you think about it. That's extreme. He did it. Are you willing to take that risk and realize that, yes, you might feel secure right now, and you might have this safety net, and you might have this comfort zone, right? But is it really something that you want to keep forever? Or are you willing to take that chance on yourself? Because that's what it is. And it's just the mind trying to override you to say that you shouldn't do it because of all these people, when actually these people in your life probably care enough about you that they want to see you really happy and they believe in you, and they actually might cheerlead you actually instead of put you down. They might be the ones that's encouraging you if you really think about it. It might be you that's holding yourself back. So if that's the case, it's time to figure out when you're willing to live your true life, when you're ready to, and when are you ready to take solid steps forward to do it. I just recently wrote a blog about this video as well. It's on ashleyberges.com. Check it out. It might actually add some more information to this video. But think about it. I want you to really ponder this. This is a pondering video. I know a lot of my videos are self-help, driven to understand relationships. This video is really driven to help you understand your relationship with yourself and your own mind. Because our mind can deflect things, right? And it's good at it. And it's good at creating these boundaries that we have that aren't really clear, they're not really real. And it's also good sometimes in getting us off target and making us feel bad about living the dream we want to live. And so that's what this video is definitely directed to. It's just really journaling about your personal desire to make those changes, to really begin to see what is that dream? What is that big dream you want? What is within your reach? And are you willing to take the leap? Please share this video with your family and friends. And don't forget to check out Calvin Harris and check out the official video. You'll see it here on YouTube. We have the link. And really connect with that, because it's really showing you how our mind can create these illusions and these divisions between what we want to do and what we can do in our life. Because I think it's time for you to take that leap of faith. And I think the people around you want you to take that leap of faith. We just have to realize that our mind is trying to get in the way to paint a picture as though we shouldn't be taking that leap of faith and living our true life. Hope you like this video. Don't forget to live your true life.